Okay, this is middle school machine woodworking, and today we are going to learn a few tools, how to identify them and their uses, how to safely operate them, and we're also going to learn how to correctly pronounce each tool name, and also you should be able to, as a student, give me a short verbal summary of what each machine's main functions are. So that's our content and language objectives for the day. Now, going back to last week when we looked at our computer numerical control machine, or CNC machine, I want to work through this personal vocabulary card with you. So in each quadrant we have different things to look at. So here is the vocabulary word, here's the definition, here's the use in a sentence, and here's a picture. And I want to show a short clip just to jog your guys' memory from last week when we did get to look at this tool in the shop. But this week we're not in the shop, we're going to look at it virtually. So I'm going to show a short video just to jog your guys' memory.
This is an example of a guitar neck that I cut, and while it's a 3-axis tool, with jigging you can even do two-sided machining and do the front and the back. People normally think of CNC tools for cutting woods and plastic, but one thing they often overlook is that it can cut non-ferrous metals. So here's an example of some aluminum that we cut. And our tool is precise enough.
You can see that you can cut lots of different things on the CNC machine.
Parts that we cut.
Okay. Now, I'm going to work through the definition with you really quick. So the method for automating machinery using software, controllers, attached to tools like routers, grinders, and cutters, like you just saw. And here's it work in a sentence. Cabinet shops are able to cut wood faster and be more accurate with a CNC machine rather than a regular table saw. So now I'm going to have you guys do, as a class, you're going to fill out 2 of these personal vocabulary cards, and I'm going to work through them with you. So our first tool that I want you guys to do on your own, I want you to fill out this worksheet as we work through. What you have here is the same on the screen, so you can use your worksheet and the screen at the same time. So class, in the orange quadrant, what does that word say?
Table saw.
Table saw, yep. So now we're going to look at a short picture to get you guys familiar with what a table saw is. Normally we'd be in the shop and I'd let you guys see this in the shop. However, today we're going to watch a short video. And this will explain some safety features and get you familiar with the different parts. So here you can see the blade is coming up through the table.
Exactly.
But when we're doing a cross cut, we're going to take the fence pretty much out of the equation.
Right.
And now they're talking about different ways to cut this board, either long ways, run it through lengthwise, or run it through across the blade like he's showing here.
I would never take this piece here and run this through, because look what can happen. If I'm pushing this with more leverage, holding this with less leverage, this board can jam in between the two and kick back, and when it kicks back, it happens so quick. I've seen it happen on the job site. I've seen it happen in school when I was a kid. The kid was cutting the saw, pushing the board through, it kicked back, and the blade was not up too high, so he didn't lose his fingers. He just nicked them off.
You could drag your hand across the blade, it'll definitely throw that back at you. It's a bad situation.
Right, and that's why I like the blade to just move a little bit.
So we don't use the fence.
Right, you don't use the fence. You use this to make your cross cut. You put it on here, you hold it down firm to the table, and you pull it together, and you push it across.
Leaving a gap here between the end of the fence.
Right. Now, let's say I want to cut multiple pieces that length. First thing you do is...
Okay, now you saw how to cut the boards on the table saw. Do you guys have any questions about how to work the table saw?
I do. I have 2 questions.
Okay.
The first one is, what was that thing that he put on the table before he cut the wood?
Oh, okay, so this little black piece here is called a miter gauge, and it runs right in this groove here. And this little gauge here just gives you support, and it lets you lay the board in there so it doesn't bind or pinch against the fence, because if it binds or pinches between the blade and over here the fence, it could be very dangerous, and it could kick back and it could hurt you. This is a better way to use the saw, and you should always use this when you're cross-cutting on the table saw.
Okay. Then why did they mention that they need more space on that side?
Good question. So when you have the fence, you can still use the fence as a measuring device. However, you need to put a stop block right here, which if we continue to watch,
Take a scrap piece of wood, take a measurement from the scrap piece of wood to the edge of the blade that you want, whatever it is. I then take this scrap piece of wood, I slide it all the way down to the very beginning of the rip fence. So now I have a guide or a stop that I can put my board against, hold it tight to the prospect guide.
That's gonna set our length.
Right, now you see that this board is against this stop before it meets the blade. Now when I push it through, as I go through, the
Yeah,
board,
right here.
you can see that the stop block lets you set the distance of the cut before you start cutting, and then once you start cutting, you won't be touching the fence. So it's a much safer way to do it. Good question. Very good safety questions for the day. Okay, now we are on to the definition. So the definition of a table saw, I'm going to read it all the way through once, and then I'm going to have you guys read it with me and fill in the blanks as we go. A circular saw mounted under a table or a bench so that the blade projects up through a slot. All right, class, your turn. Fill in the blanks. A circular saw mounted under a
Table,
or a bench so that the
blade,
projects up through a slot. Good job. Now, I would like you guys to try to use, I would like you to try to use it in a sentence and table saw in a sentence. See if you can do that.
okay. I will use the table saw to cut a long piece of wood.
Yeah, that's great. Good job. I think you're getting it. Let's move on to another piece of machinery and another vocabulary word. And this word is,
Circular saw,
yeah, or
skill saw,
skill saw or circular saw. Very good. And this one we don't have to look at virtually because I have a skill saw right here. And this saw has a very similar to a table saw except for it's handheld. Still has the rotating blade right here. It has the table or plate right here. It's got the trigger to start and stop it right here and a handle, and it's electrically powered. And the picture, I want you guys to snap with your phone so you can review it later with your notes as you fill out your worksheet here. So I'm going to read through the definition once. A handheld circular saw with a rotating blade. All right, class. A handheld circular saw with a
rotating.
blade. Good
So
job.
this is a rotating blade.
Yep, right there. And now it's your turn. See if you can use circular saw or skill saw in a sentence.
Okay. He will use a skill saw to cut wood for our garden beds.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's all we have today. I'm going to have you guys for homework completely fill out these two personal dictionary cards and bring them back tomorrow. You can review our